Aren't you amazed of the precision and awesomeness of our brains so far? Every time I talk about our brains, as you can see, I can spend quite some time in here. Um, if you like this, wait until you take a physiology class and see the real stuff. So, as we have described previously, but maybe I didn't put the necessary emphasis. So I just want to emphasize in here that the sensory information, afferent information, the one getting to the brain, crosses the midline and goes to the opposite side, to the opposite cerebral hemisphere. So we are right here. Really apologize for the pictures, but I cannot find anything better than that. But the thing is that, well, these are motors. But let's say that I'm feeling the fly that I told you uh, in here, in the right side. Well, that's a pretty fly. So the touch of that fly is ascending in the spinal cord at the level of the medulla. Well, ascends in the same side of the spinal cord. Here is the spinal cord. Ascends, and at the level of the brainstem, it crosses and delivers the information to the sensory, which is about here, okay, to the sensory somatocortex, somatosensory cortex. So what we are holding or feeling with in your left side is being delivered on the right side. Opposite, or in the other side, in the other hand, the information, the motor commands that are begins in the premotor cortex of the frontal lobe. Motor commands initiated in here descends on the same side of the brain, but of the cerebrum, but again on the medulla oblongata, which is one part of the brainstem, it goes to the opposite side. So your right side controls the movement of your left side, of your left body. As we can see in here, she is writing with her right hand, and that movement is controlled by her left cerebral hemisphere. Okay, so sensory and motor information, they both cross. And this is very interesting because you will see it in your clients, in your when working with people with any type of injury in the brain or in the central nervous system, brain and spinal cord, depending on the level of injury. If it's before these pathways cross, the lesion or the injury is going to be on the same side. But if that occur after these fibers decussate or cross in the midline, the the signs or the symptoms that the patient have are going to be on the other side. Uh, this is, I can't tell you how interesting is. So again, the blue side, which is the left side of your brain, controls and the motor command or sends motor command to the right side, and at the same side, at the same time, sensory information detected on the right side of your body is being sent to the left cerebral hemisphere, and the opposite applies. Now, it's like we have two brains, right? But again, they're connected by the corpus callosum. Remember the white matter right here in the middle. And again, this is part of a physiology class, but very interesting things happens when we section or we disconnect these two cerebral hemispheres. You will think that, and at the beginning it is like that. Now there is no connection, no link between these two cerebral hemispheres, but With time, I don't know how, but it tends to we tend to create neural pathways. Now, the thing is that as the sensory and the motor information is sent and received in different sides of your cerebrum, the same thing we can do with higher cognitive functions. Uh, have you heard that we have a right and the left brain? Well, it's just one brain, two cerebral hemispheres, but the functions occurring or happening in one side of the brain are completely different from the one happening in the other side of the brain. In your let's start with the left brain. In here is the logic, your logic brain, the ones that deals with expression, verbal expression, mathematic calculations, science, control, strategics, plans, you know, the ones that analyzes the why of everything. The other one, the right brain, is the free brain, are your talents, what you're good for, regardless of your profession, of your left brain, your artistic expression, the color, the music, art, the poetry, passion, fashion, creativity, all of these pieces of art that you do in our class, doing your videos, your assignments, those are pieces of art. Uh, of course, there is science in there with a touch of creativity. That's what I love. And there's a lot of pictures like this that you can find over the internet, beautiful pictures. See, well, they put like the left brain is the boring brain in gray. The one that works at office, but look at the happy place on your right brain. In here again, uh, two other pictures comparing the functions, the brain functions in the left and the right brain. I'll leave you with this one: numbers and colors. See you in the next slide.